I'm just not sure how all those settings and stuff work. Look, is it the... Yeah. Is it in it? Is it camera?
Ja, jy klik net van driver tot driver, okay, dat ons die reis kyk.
In a view, en kan jy die views change?
Ja. Dis presies dieselfde soos ek if you watching a replay. Ja, dis dieselfde soos 'n replay.
Exactly the same. Okay, yeah, then I'll be able to do that. Not a problem.
You know what, Dylan, last time I didn't even change the camera, I just kept it on the trackside camera the whole time. I just flicked between the drivers, that's all. Yeah.
I'll give it a go.
Hallo Turkie.
Hello, hello.
But just remember that we must join you in the chat lobby.
Okay, cool. Okay, I must make sure it's set to what? Sorry, I didn't hear that. Chat, okay. Okay, okay.
So,
Lekker ouwens, ek dink julle ouwens se tye gaan tyd wees daarvoor.
Ek het R100 op Jack se kop, daar was iemand wat ons.
Ek gaan maar net oor en so van
ik denk dat ik van de modder was. Ik moet iemand van de modder vrouwen weer uitbracht.
Shit, sorry Jack.
Dat is zelfs maar weer.
Bye-bye.
Welcome back, guys.
Sorry, the stream went down momentarily. I don't know what happened. We went after the tier opening, and unfortunately we lost the stream. With in the commentary box, I have a Dirkie. How are you doing?
Very well, man. Thanks for watching, everybody. Welcome to the race. Enjoy the race, please.
Yep,
I'm sure we'll definitely have some fun. So we are here at the Silverstone circuit. We're on the international track, so it is the slightly smaller version of the Silverstone track, so it's about half the lap time. We do have 11 drivers racing across the two different tiers. So if you are on the stream, please just give us a note, give us a message, let us know which of the drivers you're supporting here this evening. We do have the 2 times 20-minute races, 5-minute qualifying. The first race will be overcast, and then we have rain expected. Dirkie, what do you think that's going to do for the drivers?
Well, I think it's going to test their abilities in the rain, and especially if you start in the dry, you know, to adapt in the middle of the race to rain. It's not so easy all the time. It can take some experienced drivers to do that, and the others might struggle a bit. So let's see who can do that the best.
I always enjoy when the rain starts coming in. It definitely does make things pretty interesting. Who do you have your money on for this evening?
And I'm putting
on the spot.
Yes, unfortunately, I didn't watch the practice sessions, but I think that as usual, I think Charles and Bruno is also very good in the weights. I think Marius will be quite fast as usual, and I think those will be the guys to look out for.
Awesome. For myself too, as I actually didn't really have much time. I've been a little bit busy at work, so I haven't been able to put the time in. But I do quite enjoy this track, the nice short format, which means we should get lots of laps and a lot of guys doing some really close racing.
Yes, I think so, and we've got a couple of guys that surprised us this championship,
most definitely.
I think, he just gave it all, and he's doing well, and I'm so surprised with his performance. And
he does keep teasing Charles to say, let me just go and help Charles out, and just got to get him ready for the race.
Yeah, no, I think there's a good thing going between them, and I think Charles helped him out a bit to get used to the car and and all the tricks and early on the throttle and all those stuff. So I think it helped a lot, eh?
Most definitely. That early on the throttle was something that I learned very quickly, and I'm glad that I did learn it when I did, because you can get nice and early on that throttle. It definitely does help.
Yes,
so we see some of those lap times coming through. Sorry, Jokey. So Morris has put in the fastest time. Well, that was Christopher now putting in a 1:12. But I do believe we should see some 1:11s. Apparently, that seems to be the time there. There's Shoal, a 1:12.5, so that's 0.7 quicker than Christopher. Ashley, he's up there, the Bravo tier driver. He'll be racing against Theo this evening, so that's pretty interesting to see.
Yeah, it's a pity those two guys are in tier 2, because they actually tier 1 drivers quality, Ash and Theo, eh? They're quite fast. So I think in the next championship we'll see them up there.
Definitely, we'll definitely see them in our next season. I'm sure they'll be battling it out here with some of the other guys. So just about 1 minute left to go of the qualifying for this 20-minute race in overcast conditions. I don't think tyres are going to be a problem for this race like the guys were experiencing at the Circuit of Americas. So we'll just go for a quick lap around the Silverstone International. So this is the start finish. Well, there's that 1:11 I was expecting to see. This is through Abbey now, through the farm. We're now going to have a hard braking zone into the village. So normally on the international track we'd actually be turning left here, but now we're going straight through the loop, then join back here in the right hander for Chapel. Scholl taking a lot of that corner with him, but getting a nice little toe down the start finish line. I'm not too sure that's either Jake's, Ashley, or Theo. Not Theo, sorry, Christopher. So we'll move to the outside. I think that's actually Jake's. You're right, in that number 2 car. So a great maneuver there for Scholl, going through Stowe now here into the Vale.
You need to keep it tight there so that you can get a good drive out here. Well done.
And I see that Scholl's using a lot of that curve on the exit. That's something I would have tried to stay off. He's done really well there to cross the line. Will improve on that lap time, and he does by 0.1 of a second. So that is 0.7 ahead. Great lap there. So that is the qualifying over, and wow, there's Theo, the Bravo tier driver, and a 1:12, so he's out qualified Ashley on a 1:13. So really great performance there. But let's not discredit Bruno. He's now coming through the last corner as well. I'm sure he'll be moving up the order. He crosses line and moves himself up into 4th, so he basically splits himself, so that's really good to see. But once again, it is Jakes, Christopher, Bruno and Scholl taking those top spots. But let's not discredit Morris to come from the rear there and make his way up the order. So 11 drivers, we will be beginning now. So guys, if you are on the stream, and just give us a how's it, drop us a message.
Yeah, I think Marius will get a bit faster during the race, because I don't think he's put in some practice. He didn't know he's going to race tonight. So I expect him to get a bit faster as time goes by.
I definitely do agree with you there. We did kind of just drop that on him to see whether he'd be able to help us out. So we're just updating your tag here. What's the numbers in your tag there, Dirkie?
The numbers in my tag.
So Q Silver.
Oh, Q Silver 73.
73. Is that perhaps a date of birth?
Yes, it is.
There we go. So there, as you can see now coming up on the screen, we'll definitely get some good views coming through the first couple of corners there. So as you can see, myself, Dylan, my tag is Delirious, and in the commentary box we have Dirkie, and his tag Q Silver 73. Thanks once again, Dirkie, for joining us. So that was the sync that we have been waiting for. So the guys have completed their setups. We are now waiting for the green lights. It is green lights, and away we go. Bruno's got a great start off the line, and Scholl also got a great start. You can see that he went straight across the track to get that inside line. So Bruno's going to start putting pressure on Jake, because he will now have the inside going into the second corner. Bruno has the inside. Will Jake's let him go through? Yes, he does. Well, there's Theo just poking his head in. So now through the loop back to join on Chapel. The guys taking a lot of that curb with them. Little Cone doing a little tumble down there. So Christopher trying to get the jump on Scholl coming into the back corner. Will he have a look to the inside? All they are side by side. Christopher gets off the power. That was extremely close going through Stowe. But no contact, side by side into the Vale. Christopher on the outside, a little squeeze there, but no contact, so the guys are still racing. And you can hear the likes of Bruno there. We can see Bruno on the outside of Christopher. And Jake's right up behind him. This is going to be very close going into turn number 1. That is Jake's wide.
Jake's running so wide there.
On the
brakes. Lots of space for all the drivers. And definitely a heated battle up here in the front. Christopher all over Scholl. How that didn't touch there. But a great close racing action. As they come down the hanger straight to get him to Stowe. You can see Scholl trying to get the Christopher off his tail. But I honestly think that he's actually losing straight line speed there.
There's too much crab of the tires in that straight line over there. Yeah, that's too much.
So back down the Vale into the last couple of sections. Oh, a little tag on the back of Scholl. See that, Christopher? Oh no! Wide again. Not too sure whether that was a lag. That's Jake's pushing through the inside there. So Jake's really taking advantage of that.
No,
not quite sure.
Oh no, it's Scholl went off there.
I think let's just jump back to the outside just so we can see what's happening in the front there. A little tag there between. That's Ashley, who's been tagged on the back there. That looks like that was Christopher, but it is Jake's. He's away and clear up in the front.
And
And we have Theo, so Theo's sitting in second place, but he's going to start getting a lot of pressure from Christopher. You can see Christopher already moving to the inside.
Yeah, Theo was like the patient bird, the vulture, eh?
Yep.
Was just waiting for all that action.
Just stood back and just waited for it to unfold and managed to get a great place. But let's see if Theo's going to try go around the outside. No, he doesn't. And the other person who's gained from that is actually Jacques. You can see he's up into 4th place. So Jacques putting a lot of pressure on Theo. So that little battle, that there is for 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th place.
Theo running wide there.
Will Jacques have a look to the inside? No, he doesn't. Anybody on the inside? Oh, that was close.
And she's also there.
And Bruno goes through as well, so that is Jacques losing 2 places.
He's always such a gentleman on the track, eh?
Yes, he is. I do think sometimes it might be just a little bit too easy. We should be fighting for those places. But nevertheless, Jacques, don't change who you are. We do love you for who you are. So now we're coming into Stowe once again.
Lucky drive there for him. Out of that corner.
So Theo's getting so much pressure. Great maneuver there by Bruno.
Oh, a little bit of touch there. Oh, much shame, eh?
I think that was Ashley who has lost out there. So Ashley down into 9th place. You can see there was just a little bit of contact on the rear there. So Derek, if you can just jump trackside for us again, please. Yeah, as you can see, I'm turning my head in trying to get these cars around the corner.
I'm here on, on Christopher. For 1 second it looked like he was very close to Jake's, but it went back to 1.3 seconds. Maybe he had a moment over there. But the heat is still on. Yes, the heat is still on there with Jacques and Marius and Bruno, it looks like,
But what I'm seeing is that all those little red lines, the guys are getting a lot of time penalties. So that's going to definitely change the outcome of this race at the end. So coming through the last corner now. So Jake's will now begin his 6th lap. So we are just about 14 minutes done in this race, and 14 minutes left to go, sorry, in this first heat. We do have a second heat where the rain will come on, and I definitely think it's going to be a lot more interesting.
It does look like Christopher is fighting back hard here. Every now and then you can see the time getting closer and closer. And
so if you just look at that lap time, so Jake's at a 1:15, so I think that Jake's might have made a little bit of a mistake.
Oh yes,
and Christopher did a 1:13.7, so he definitely caught up just about 1.5 seconds there.
But look at Bruno.
1:12, Jacques 1:12, Marius 1:13, and then Charles 1:13. Oh, that was Jake's. Did you see that? He went a little bit too tight on that corner. I think he lost the rear, which pushed him off, which has now allowed Christopher to move up to the front. So Jake's really battling now, and if Jake's is not cautious, he's going to start having Bruno closing up on him. But just see the lap times when they cross the line. Oh, there was 2 seconds lost there for Jake's.
What a lap time by Christopher though, 12.4.
1:12.4.
And look at Jacques.
He's currently the fastest on the track, and he's sitting comfortably there in 4th place once again. And it's very interesting. We saw this at the Circuit of Americas where Jacques was just sitting there, just waiting for something to happen.
No, he is very patient by doing that. I don't know how he gets that right. It's very special.
And I've seen in the background that it looked like, oh, there's Ashley having a torrid time. So Shoal's just moved up now into 8th place.
Shoal must have damage because I saw him doing 13s, and we've got such a good battle there. Look at that.
So Jakes has gone ahead of Christopher again. So they're actually going to start catching up to Roy. So I'm sure Roy is going to get himself very much out of the way. There he goes. Thank you very much, Roy.
And Bruno is definitely catching up with him, eh?
Yep, he is. You can see that long line of cars and just how that suspension is working with them going into Abbey.
I'm a bit worried about Jakes when the rain starts because it looks like his car might be a little bit loose at this point of time. But let's see. I don't want to put bad luck on him.
Yeah, most definitely. So Christopher is striking distance. So Morris actually managed to get a place ahead because Morris was actually behind Jacques.
Yes.
So GX is wide, Christopher is tight. So Christopher now will lead the battle going into this corner. You can see Jakes now just slotting in behind him. And now they have Bruno right up behind him. Bruno's going to start attacking, and it's generally this last 10 minutes of the race where Bruno starts coming together and he really starts closing up on the guys ahead. So the person who lost out of that was definitely Jakes, because Bruno and Christopher, their times are pretty similar.
So we have decent lap times.
Yep, less than 10 minutes to go. And there's only 3 drivers who haven't got a time penalty. So Dirk, I don't know if you can find the current times, and we can just bring that up to see who's got what penalty. There we go. So Christopher, 4 seconds for him, 3 seconds for Jakes and Bruno. Jacques got 2, Theo 1, Andrew's got 4, Dane, he's got 1 second, and Roy 2 seconds. So those are definitely going to make changes in the positions later on.
At this point of time, it's actually Marius leading the race if you look at the penalties, because Marius is exactly 3 seconds behind the leader.
100%.
Yeah, Marius and Jacques is actually sitting very well there, so they must just keep up their pace and they might do very well.
So again, the drivers come through Abbey now through the farm. Christopher and Jake side by side. And Christopher now moves himself ahead here on lap number 10. Side by side, once again, well, that's Christopher going very wide, so he's now dropped to 3rd, and this is, I think, where Bruno's opportunity he's been waiting for. So he's now going to get the drive out. You can see him pulling away from Jakes. So Bruno is now the new leader of this race. Or not, because there's Jakes on the inside, and Christopher's going to follow him through.
I think he's playing it safe, eh? Must be.
So here on the brakes, let's see who Christopher allows Bruno just to get back in there. But they should be able to get the tow down the start finish line. So Christopher will move, I'm sure he'll have a look here going into Abbey. Will Bruno know that he's there? Or Christopher backside, but Bruno leaves enough space for him. And Marius is now closing up, so he's about 0.4 behind this battle. Great in-view shot there of what the guys are seeing from the cockpit. So is this the opportunity for Christopher to get this place back on Bruno? definitely does look like he had that straight line speed. He was in the toe, coming down the hanger straight. So Christopher will be on the inside. Bruno will tighten up. And I'm quite surprised that Christopher's exit speed wasn't compromised there.
Yeah, because that was not the line to take. But still he managed to pass there.
But still he managed to keep it where
and
he
here
wanted
comes
to be.
Marius, eh? Marius and Jacques is joining. Look at that. Yeah, Jacques is still there.
So we are just about 6 laps left of this race.
What a race.
We might get 6. What a race. It's so close here up in the front. Bruno trying to take as right of that corner. Yeah. And I think this is where Bruno's going to really start applying as much pressure as he can. You can just see the lines that he's taking are a lot tighter, a lot more brave. So down the hanger straights, coming up to Stowe.
We're running with Marius.
And Jake's has got that all but sideways.
Good line there from Christopher, man. He might have a good drive here.
He got such a good drive out there that I think there was a little tag on the back of Jake's. Christopher all over Jake's, and will Jake's know that he's there on the inside? Coming into Abbey. Christopher is very cautious, and here comes Bruno through the middle of the two of them. He's enough space there for him. It doesn't really look like it. So on the brakes, now into the village, and now Morris has joined up. He's right up into this, so this could be anybody's race. At the moment, if Morris doesn't get a time penalty and they stay right the way they are, Morris will actually win this race.
Oh yes.
So Bruno now moving to the inside. Christopher will know that Bruno is there. They are just about 3 wide. Great. Oh, there's Jake's losing the rear. That's going to allow Morris to come through. That's compromised Christopher's exit speed. Little tag on the back there. Watch out, Jake's. Morris is there. Morris leaving enough space for Jake's. That's Bruno through, and Morris is through. And that one little slip up for Jake's has now unfortunately cost him 3 spots. So he was leading this race. He's now down in 4th. With less than 4 minutes to go, we're going to get probably about 4 laps. Maybe 3. We might get 4, just depending on how quickly the guys circulate. But now all Morris needs to do is effectively just stay right where he is, and he will win this race because he does not have any time penalties to his name.
True, yes. He must just keep it safe there. He doesn't even have to fight for this. And there comes
that's
Theo.
Theo.
He's
yes, the back. That's Theo. I see what Morris has actually done is that he's actually just come off the pace there because he's actually not competing for the championship points. He's allowed the guys contending up front to go past him. So that is really great sportsmanship there from him.
Yeah, 3 laps ago, Jacques was like 3 seconds behind, and he caught up again. He's like 1.8 seconds now. So he had a couple of good laps going there for him.
And this is the thing, is that if you're just circulating without anybody around you, your times get consistent. But it's this battling, this jostling for position, watching your mirrors, that's where things can definitely go wrong.
Theo did very well in that battle because his lap time is still on a 12.3. So he didn't do that bad in that battle, in those battles, yeah.
So we got Nassif Benjamin. He said, "Evening, gents. Some good close racing. Enjoying it. Thanks, Nassif. Thanks so much for joining us. And yes, we do love this type of racing. You can see that is effectively first, second, third, fourth, and fifth, all within 2 seconds of each other. That is really good to see. So Bruno now goes defensive. little side-by-side action.
Bruno
had that car sideways. That allows Jakes now to go back to the front.
Will they be
free wide here into the lost corners?
And Jock is also okay. Jock also has got a penalty now, so yeah.
So Jacques has a 2-second penalty, so it all depends on what happens at the end, because we don't know if there's been any more that's been added on. But we will cross the line, we will have 2 more laps to go. And I see that Jakes is really struggling with that rear of that car. I'm not too sure what it is. So then Jakes, 5 seconds for him, 4 for Christopher, 4 for Bruno, Marius nothing, and 2. So if Jacques stays within 3 seconds, or 2 seconds, he could actually move himself up into 2nd place. And yet this battle continues. I'm just looking further down. There isn't really any other battles going. I do see that Andrew. When I see this kind of action, Dirkie, I get so lost, and I really just want to be in this. I can tell you that much.
For sure. For
Okay,
sure.
guys,
Guys, just
we are now
myself
going to
to
be
move away from this.
Yeah,
we are now going to be approaching the last lap. Christopher just slotting right behind Bruno. Jakes is still frantically leading this race. So Christopher and Bruno side by side. Christopher stays on the inside. You see Bruno allows enough space for him, because he definitely knew that he was there. So now coming hard into the village.
I'm holding my breath all the time. This is so exciting.
I'm almost going to see some late lunges into these last couple of corners, but who's going to come short and who's going to be victorious? I still don't know.
Come, Jock, come.
That could very well happen. So there goes Christopher side by side with Bruno. Great move there by Christopher going into Stowe. But is his exit compromised? So he will stay defensive. He moves to the inside. Will Bruno have a lunge? Yes, he's having a go. Oh, it's Bruno that hit Christopher. That's stall there by Bruno, stall there by Christopher. So that is Jakes that will cross the line in 1st place. Marius will come in 2nd. With Jacques, Christopher, then Bruno. What? That's absolutely crazy.
On the last lap, can you believe that? Such bad luck. Shame.
So Dirkie, we just saying that they were getting a bit of an echo. I just wanted to check, do you perhaps have the stream on in the background? If you could just turn that sound off.
I do not. Maybe I can take my mic away a bit. Does that sound maybe better? I don't know.
So Nassif, if you could just let us know, please, if that is still there. And so what a crazy race. So there you can see that is actually Marius who now is on top. Jacques will take the 2nd place due to those time penalties, with Jakes in 3rd. Theo, surprisingly, he moves up into 4th place. Then Christopher down in 5th, with Bruno 6th, Charles in 7th, Ashley 8th, Andrew in 9th, Dane in 10th, and that will be Roy in 11th place.
Does that actually mean that Jacques wins this race, because Marius doesn't really compete?
So that means that Jacques is the winner of this race, Jakes is 2nd, and Christopher will come 3rd, because Theo essentially wins the Bravo tier, and Ashley will get 2nd in the Bravo tier. So we'll just change our settings in the chat party to end chat, and we can just go talk to the guys in the game.
I think the reason where we got caught is Jakes made a huge mistake. Got it very sideways.
Yep.
and then the facing.
Guys,
all I can say is
wow,
what a crazy race once again.
Jock, you're Easter.
Dankie man.
So
unlucky there, Bruno and Christopher. We did say that last lap. Would there be a lunch? Who would come out? and all I can say, very unfortunate, but Jacques. The position that you were in, so hold on, let's just start this again. So Marius, you landed up winning the race due to some time penalties.
Yes.
Well done, not getting those time penalties. That definitely did help you. And then in terms of those positions, there was just so many time penalties, so many changes that we ended up having Jacques winning this race.
Yes, like there's a comeback out there.
So Jacques, you stayed in fifth place for most of this race.
Well, I saw last night while I was doing my little homework on these guys, they enjoyed penalties, so...
That was very well done. And then Jake, some really crazy moments there for you. The car going sideways a few times too many.
I almost lost it there and almost cost me the race there, but luckily I just kept it in, and but I lost a lot of time there. But yes, what a crazy race. Thanks guys, that was awesome.
Great battle, man, great battle.
And then Christopher, you did manage to get away with your third place there, a little tag in going into the Vale, but yeah. Look, once again, there's just so many cars in such a small place, but really great racing. And then Theo, you were mixing it up right up there, and ended up actually getting a third place for the overall, but winning your class.
Yeah, I made a bad mistake on the back straight where I actually brake like 20 or 30 meters too early with people behind me. Concentrating too much at the back, and I think I stuck up something for H there. I'm not 100% sure, but I'll check the replay. But yeah, it was a good race, a little bit of a lonely race, but close to the end I thought, you know, let me just ease off. No need for me to put in fourth lap.
100%. Alright guys, the settings have now been updated. If you do need to just take a quick breather, get your thoughts back. I just need to top up my water, my mouth is so dry, and then we'll get racing again. Thanks to the guys.
My mouth is dry, holy shit. I was watching one of the best battles ever there from the right behind it the whole time. And involved in between now and then.
That was really awesome. Nassif, I think I'll be able to fix that echo that you're saying that's coming through. Let's just have a look here.
Just set my mic volume much lower. I don't know if that will...
it's not on your side there, Dirkie. Okay, Nassif, just let us know if that has now fixed it. It should have done so. Oh, there it is. I found the problem. There we go. Okay, so the echo is now gone. Please, can you confirm? Right, guys, we'll have a
lang asem tussen die Rottweilers.
I couldn't breathe, Jock. I was holding my breath all the time. I'm blue in my face, man.
Right guys, we will be back. I'm just going to grab some water and we will be starting the second race. The rain has been set.
Dylan,
we'll be back with you shortly. Yep.
Is the screen's fine? Is it whatever I'm doing? Is it okay? To the outside, okay. Yes, okay.
Dylan, isn't this race supposed to be starting 5 o'clock?
Yeah, it must be 1700 hours.
Okay, alright.
Charles, you were also bad luck there.
Ja, yes, Charles was bad luck.
Ja, daar was nogal baie divebom moves op my, maar is alright. Ek het julle gekry, julle etters. Ek het julle gekry.
Ek was die enigste een wat geslow down het vir 'n slow down. Okay. Want ek sien enigste wat net penalties gehad het.
Yes, I get 5 seconds gehad.
Yes, but it was a nice race in that bunch of 4 or 5 guys. Hell, it was crazy. I just put car in between 2 other cars and that's it, see what happens. Yeah.
To watch those guys. Yeah.
Actually, loads of fun being the guy who perfects. It was so easy to get the shots, the good shots. This was like excellent. I couldn't leave the front bunch. Sorry about the guys at the back. You didn't get much airtime there.
So the sponsors didn't get much airtime there.
Nah, sorry for that.
Alright guys, we are back. Myself and Dirkie, we're just about to get ready for the second heat. The rain has come. We are now just checking the time for this race. And that's not where we will find it.
That's 5 uur. Ek het gekyk.
Okay, so yeah, the time is still set for 2, so there's 5 o'clock, so it now has been set. Let's just make sure that it's saved. It is saved. Jacques, as jy gereed is, Roy, as jy gereed is, druk die groen knopjie asseblief, and we will go racing. Thank you very much. Who have I lost? Okay, Dirkie, your thumb is up. So let's go heat number 2. We'll see you in the chat party, Dirkie. Party chat, there we go. So, man, what a crazy race. So guys, we are on the same track for the second heat. We do have the light rain that has come in, so the guys will be qualifying in the light rain and then having the second of the 2 races, the 20-minute. And let's see whether we can get Scholl up in the front there and actually have a 5-way battle for that first place. That would be something incredible. Okay, 5 minutes of qualifying will be starting now. So guys, if you do want to come and find out more about our racing, you can go and check out our social media pages. We do have a Facebook as well as a website. You obviously are watching us on YouTube, but go check us out on SARCO, so that is the South African Racing Community Online. We'll find out whatever races are coming up next, the lines and the setups that would be used, and as well as just come and have some conversations with us. Otherwise, if you would like to come and chat to us, you can join us on our Discord to find out more information of up and coming races.
Now these conditions will split the link from the boys.
Yes, completely. So Dirkie, you are actually able just to turn your microphone up again, because now it seems like that you have turned it down a little bit too much. What was happening is that my camera was actually picking up the sound, so I did manage to reduce that echo.
Okay. Is this fine? Can you hear me like this?
Yes, that's good. I think if you go up just a little bit more, that won't hurt anybody, just so that it sounds like our voices are the same level. So now the rear on this car is definitely going to be a lot more slippery. And you can see how like Bruno's absolutely throwing. Yeah, that is good.
Okay, cool.
See, Bruno's gone around. Oh, just missing Jake's. That was one for the cameras there, Bruno. Thank you very much.
At least he's still got some time to get a lap in, so strong there.
Yeah. So the guys are still currently out on their flying. They would have started their flying lap now, so we should see some time start popping up on the screen. So that's Dane, who's currently in 9th place. Unfortunately, we didn't see much of Dane. There was just so much happening up in the front there that we didn't get to see any of the battles further down the field. But we'll definitely keep our eye out there.
Got Mr. Andrew there, trying his best in the weight.
For the green numbers. Oh, I think he completely
locked up.
Locked up on the wet. They put it on the paint, and that's definitely not going to help you stop your car.
Right. And there goes the times.
So a 1:14.15. That is Christopher, who's done that fastest time, and now I think that would have been his first lap. So I don't think he's going to go any quicker, because as the rain continues, the surface gets wetter, and I think that will be that pole time, unless there is a very unexpected event and somebody does go quicker than that time. But I'm almost doubtful, unless we have a tow like we've got now.
Who's behind him? Andrew.
So that is Charles, I think, getting a tow from either Marius or from Bruno, and that is Jake's. I didn't quite get the numbers, because the two red cars are either Jake's or Christopher. Oh, big sideways moment there for Charles. So across the line, these guys will get in one more lap. So Charles just improved his time slightly.
Yep. How close is that?
0.116 of a second.
Jake's also put in an excellent time there, 14.7, 0.6 seconds down.
And the reality is that these guys are going just about almost 3 seconds slower in the wet than they would on the dry. So that is very impressive.
Shows you the difference in grip. Yeah.
So down the hanger straight, that is now the qualifying over.
I'm on Bruno. I don't know where he is. Did he crash?
So Bruno is currently he's in the pits, and Jake's
he's in the
pits.
Sorry, I missed.
So he won't be going any quicker. There comes Andrew around the last corner. Just see how when Charles comes out of that right-hander, how the rear just steps out and he just rides the slide. So Christopher doesn't go quicker. Charles goes fastest, and that was actually Jake's in front. In the third lap, that is very surprising. But Christopher losing out by 0.07 of a second.
My gosh, how close is that? It's amazing.
And there's Theo putting himself in third place ahead of Marius. Jacques down in 6th. Bruno all the way down in 7th place. So that is the current lineup. So Charles on pole position with Christopher 2nd, Jake's 3rd, Theo's in 4th with Marius 5th. That is Jacques in 6th place with Bruno 7th, Ashley's in 8th with Dane 9th, Roy in 10th, and unfortunately Andrew, he'll kick us off from the back. So we get them started. So we are now in the lobby where the guys have 2 minutes just to get their setups sorted, and you can see every now and again that one of the car has like a little jump, and that's basically the guys just accepting their setup, and they are then planted on the grid. Once we see the sinking sign, that means that the guys are all ready, they've all accepted the start, and we're good to go.
It looks like Theo's wipers are broken. They're not on.
So on my screen they are on, so it's all good.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I just want to check the pull away here, and then I'll move to trackside after this.
100%.
And then we'll see how it goes through the first corner.
Okay, that was the sync that we were waiting for, so everybody has readied up. So we'll have 1 red light, 2 red lights, 3 red lights. There will be a pause for green. There's green, and away we go. And Charles, once again, a great start off the line. And that is Jakes, who also had a blinder coming off the start. So he might actually be able to get around the outside of Christopher. But eventually he just backs off, lets Christopher go through. Oh, little contact there, but that was Dane and Andrew in the background there. But Jacques is now up into 4th place, so he's had a great start. And it looks like Theo, he's down in 6th, so he's really struggled to get the car off the line. Oh, that was Theo. I'm not too sure who he was up against, but he must just keep it together. He can still come back. There's still 20 minutes left of this race.
I think it was Ash. I'm not sure, but I think it was Ash, but because it was a red car.
Okay, yeah, then I think Ash was back down there, so I think you are right. And that was Jacques now letting Bruno go through. So Charles in the front once again, with Christopher in 2nd, Jakes is 3rd, Bruno 4th, Jacques, then Marius, Ashley, Dane, Roy, and Theo down in 10th place. And unfortunately, it would look like we've lost Andrew.
And Christopher already on a 1-second penalty.
So some time penalties coming through, and but I do believe that the guys are going to start being a little bit more cautious due to the previous result that they had.
Yes, because it's expensive.
Yeah, 100%. So to the guys that are watching the stream, if you are there, just drop us a message. Tell us if you're enjoying the racing. Let us know who you think is going to win, considering we had, I think, about 4 or 5 different leaders of the first heat. We do have some rain, and it does look like that Charles is starting to just open a gap there.
We're on Christopher, yeah.
So down the Vale, yeah, into the last couple of corners.
We've also got Ash really close to Marius, catching up there.
Oh yes. Ooh. It looks like a little bit of glitching there for Ash.
Or he might have had a lot of damage because of that contact, and it might make it difficult to drive, I don't know.
Yeah, it seems to be fine there for him. And then behind that's actually Dane in 8th place, so that's a good positioning for him. Yeah, I definitely think that's a bit of glitching there for Ash.
Back on Bruno.
And Bruno currently sitting in 4th place. He's trying to close down Jakes, but he's currently losing some time on Jakes. And once again, Charles doing the... I think we should actually call this the Wilkin hustle. Moving left and right to not get any advantage for the guys behind.
Running really wide.
Very different lines, yeah. So I'm not sure if he outbraked himself or whether that will be the line that he'll be taking. But you can see the conditions the guys are driving under. And Christopher has definitely taken advantage of it, because you can see how he's just closed that gap up. So he was nearly 1.5 seconds behind away, but now within the 0.6 of a second. But as this race goes on, Dirkie, the conditions are going to get tougher and tougher as the road gets wetter and wetter, and that's when the mistakes start happening. So I see Christopher's now has a time penalty, Bruno's got the time penalty, and Marius, Mr. Perfection for the last race, he unfortunately has got himself 3 seconds. So that's definitely going to cost him later on. Good to see Theo now moving himself up the field. And Christopher not letting Charles get away. Once again, the Charles hustle happening down the Hanger Straight. Oh, big slide there for Christopher. I was just going to say, I think that's why Charles is going wider, because he knows that the water starts pooling on the inside. and is ready, preparing himself there, getting out of those puddles. So 5 minutes done, 4 laps have passed. We have just on 15 minutes left of this race. The guys are going just about 3 seconds slower than they were in the first heat. But it is Charles, Christopher, Jakes and Bruno. Then Jacques, Marius, Ashley, Dane, Theo up into 9th, and then Roy down in 10th. And then Dirkie, next week Thursday is the showstopper.
Oh,
that's Christopher going through into first place. I'm not sure whether Charles had a slowdown penalty, but he really did not challenge Christopher for that position at all. And I'm sure that is not where Charles wants to be. So that little dry line that was there, oh, you could see how Christopher went sideways into snow there.
And even touching the brakes over there.
Yeah, so he definitely had a little bit of a panic moment. Let's see if... Charles does take a lot of that curb. So in qualifying, you can see that here there's just a little bit of a dry line on the outside here, but in the next, I'd say 2 laps or so, that dry line will be gone, and the guys will be driving on full wets.
But Charles still got that 1 second penalty counting for him. That's in Christopher's bag.
And I think that's probably why Charles decided to do that, because he just knows how expensive these time penalties could be. But it looks like Christopher's okay. He's not really pulling away because it's still staying at about half a second. So we just got a comment coming through from Nasifi saying he's totally enjoying it. Come Jakes, my bet is on you and no pressure. So Jakes is really sitting in a good place for now. If he does just keep it together, anything can happen in the front, which is what we had seen in the first heat. But definitely the wet conditions are taking the toll on some of the other drivers.
I must say Jake looks quite stable here, keeping it tight everywhere, so it looks good for him.
So there's Charles having a little look, but Christopher closing the door, Charles deciding not to make an attack. So now the question is Charles just sitting there biding his time, trying to force a mistake, or do you think he's going to go for an attack? Ooh, a little tag there on the back of Jakes, from Jakes. Just watch out, Jakes. He's still on the inside, so Jakes definitely sees him coming. But they were side by side once again, and Charles manages to go around the outside. Ooh, a little kick of the rear. Oh no, so Jakes did lose the rear going onto the back straight there. So that is pretty unfortunate. So Jakes dropping down into 5th place.
You've also got Ash and Jark there.
Ooh, there was Theo. He also got it very sideways. So it looks like that there's a bit of a puddle on the inside curb there as they coming back onto the hangar straight. So just as they're joining there from the loop to Chapel, the guys are losing the rear there, especially the ones that are going nice and tight. So Christopher starting to open a gap away from Charles. It was 0.6 when we visited them last. So now at 1.5 seconds, so he has doubled the gap. So Christopher on that 1 second penalty, Bruno on that one, Marius has got 3, he's up into 4th place, and there's Dane down in 9th place, he's also got the 1 second penalty. But the guy's taking a very wide line there. I'm pretty sure that is slowdown potential.
Charles caught up very quickly there. He's only .5 seconds gone there, behind Christopher.
So it definitely is on that charge, and we'll just see the difference in the lap times, because you can see that Scholl did a 1:18, so that's now a second slower than what the other guys were doing.
Bruno is still in attack mode. He's still there. He's not too far off. So if something happens here, he's in for it.
Yep. Let's see as they cross the line. So that's a 1:17.9 and Scholl a 1:16.7. So that's 1.2 seconds quicker that Scholl went over Christopher. So that's through the valley, here through the leap, then joining on the back of Chapel, then down the hanger straight. So that is the view from the cockpit, and you can see that the conditions are really bad. But now will Christopher take his much tighter line, or does he stay wider? He does tighten up. He's on that curb that is so dangerous, especially knowing that there could be some puddles on the inside.
The other thing is, the later it gets and the more water there is on the track, the more difficult it is to follow somebody, because it's crazy how bad the conditions is here with all the water spray, you know.
Yeah. And then what happens is the driver behind who's following doesn't get to see the puddle.
No. And you can even miss a braking point. You can miss an accident in front of you. What happened to me in a wet race.
So here through the valley, or Scholl a lot tighter there. You can see how Christopher, he turned in but the car didn't turn, and Scholl really making that setup work well for him.
We still got Jakes here trying to catch up. He's about, what is it, 0.3 seconds behind Marius, running a bit faster on the last lap.
Yeah.
Jock is struggling a bit, unfortunately, in the wet.
It looks like Scholl was going to make a move there on Christopher, because they were just about 0.1 going down the hanger straight. So will Scholl have a look? Christopher stays on the inside, so Christopher will defend that line. But now it's all about who gets the better exit. So if Scholl can get that power down, he's gone a lot tighter. He'll be able to get a little bit of a tow down the start-finish line, across the line to begin lap number 11. 7 minutes to go, so we'll get just about 7 laps left. It sounds like there was somebody that had a bit of a spin there, because you could just hear how that car was revving. So through the valley, there we go, there's Roy, who's now just been passed. Jacques down in 6th place. That's Theo, he's moving up the order. So we've just lost another driver. So we are down to 9. So through Stowe, Christopher still leads with Scholl in 2nd, Bruno's in 3rd, Morris is 4th. And
that
every time I see Christopher, yeah, Christopher saying very defensive. I hope there's no touch here coming into the last couple of corners. Scholl going around the outside. That is an incredible move there by Scholl. He set Christopher up, a little bit of a touch going into the braking, but that kept Christopher on the inside for the next part of that corner, and Scholl managed to get around the outside to cross the start finish line. So Scholl now leads here on lap number 12. We have just under 6 minutes left, so we will get 5 laps in. Oh, so it was Ashley that had left the race, and then Dirkie, while we talking about next week, it is the final race of the season. We go to Bathurst, 40 minutes, and it is double points. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, there's a couple of strong guys there. I think that Jake's might do very well there. It's one of his favorite tracks, but then on the other hand, it's also one of Jock's favorite tracks, which is Mole. And I don't know what the point difference is between them at this point of time out of my head, but I believe it's quite close, and that can maybe make a difference to that, to whatever the standings is at the moment.
Yeah, so we'll definitely get those standings updated, and we will post them just before the start of the next race, so we know exactly who needs to do what. But man, oh man, 40 minutes around Bathurst, that definitely is very taxing on you.
Yes, and it is a track to make a mistake very easily. It's an unforgiving track. There's a lot of barriers, a lot of high-speed corners that can go wrong. Yes, so it's an expensive track to make mistakes on.
Definitely.
So really pulling away there.
Yeah. So he really has. So I think he was just biding his time, looking for an opportunity to get around Christopher. He's now been able to put the medal down.
We've got
now
Christopher there.
Quite a convincing lap. Let's try that again. He's opening up quite a convincing time, not lap.
Yes, on this point of time in the race, it's quite good, eh? There's Marius. He's trying to catch up with Bruno. It's about 3 seconds down there.
And I see Jakes doesn't have any time penalties, so that's 3 seconds for him. We must just keep an eye on him. He might be able to just jump a couple of places with some of the time penalties. So that's 3 seconds for Marius, and then 1 for Christopher, 1 for Bruno. And I don't see it getting any closer than that. So the guys shouldn't be going there. They don't really have pressure now.
Drake needs another 1 second to get that 3 second advantage working for him on Marius, because he's about
about half a second.
Behind.
It's about half a second there. Yeah.
Yes.
So if Jace can find half a second, he should be able to move himself up into into 4th place, but that will still keep him technically in 4th.
So we've got Shaw running away here now. He's really got the pace going on the end of this race.
So I'm sure it's definitely a redemption moment there for Shaw. Unfortunately, a little contact in the first race, and he did finish further down the order. But again, just shows that the lap time. So he's done a 16.9, so that's a second quicker than Christopher now. So 2 minutes left. That means we will only be able to get in 2 more laps. And then that will be the end of the race for this evening. And don't forget that next week we will be heading to Bathurst for the 40-minute heat around Bathurst. So depending on the lap times, we could possibly be having, I'd say, around about 17 to 18 laps around the Bathurst track.
So Jake's making a bit of time up there on Marius with a 17.7 against a 18.1.
Yeah, so he did find himself 0.4 of a second there, so that is really good for Jakes. And you can see the field now is spread out just a little bit.
So let's see how it looks on the inside of this very fast lap times in the wet. Let's see what he does that's special.
So we'll jump on board for the last lap. So that is now coming out of the last corner through Club. Now we will be going into Abbey. You see a little bumpy section here, which we don't really see it in the cockpit, which is good. Now hard on the brakes, coming out of the farm here into the village. You can hear Shaw really using those gears to slow the car down. Little kink there through the loop. Now joining back at Chapel down the Hanger Straight.
It really looks like he's still got a lot of grip left there.
So coming to stow, he'll break 50 meters, start turning in, and I'm very surprised. You can see there actually aren't any puddles on the inside there. So there's a puddle. Yep. So then on the brakes here, through the veil, back on the power, and a shoal will cross the line for that win. With Christopher in second place, Bruno in third, then Marius in fourth place, with Jakes, he's down in fifth. Well, a little spinning action there for Bruno. There's Jakes crossing the line, so Jakes actually ends up finishing ahead of Marius, with Jacques down in sixth place as he's now coming through the veil. So that's Jacques coming home in sixth. Dane a little bit further behind, he now coming through the veil in seventh place. And here's Theo right behind him in eighth. And there's Roy crossing the line. So the final results up on the screen: Shoal in first place, then Christopher, Bruno, Jakes, Marius, Jacques, Dane, Theo, then Roy. So Dirkie will now just jump into the chat party. I mean, out of the chat party into the game.
We'll do that. Meet you on that side.
Yep.
It's a bit of a low after that first race, eh? You know, it's not the same.
So thank you very much, guys. Lots of interesting battles in the beginning, but then as the fields started opening up, great race there for Bruno. You kind of got yourself stuck into that third place. Were you happy with that result?
Yeah, well, starting I think 7th or something. The first laps were a lot of fun, lots of nice little overtakes. But then I had a choice: either take a penalty or lose the tow. And I decided to get out of the tow, hoping the front guys would fight a bit, but they didn't. And then I was out of the tow, and then it was just, you know, looking at the fans, waving, lap after lap. Something to happen. I think something did happen, but Jakes made a mistake, and then I got an extra place. But yeah, that was it.
I just lost it there. Yeah, I just lost it, and I lost a couple of places there, and that was the race.
Well, thank you very much, Jakes. That's very humble in defeat. And moving on to Christopher, you had Shoal pressurizing the bejesus out of you. That little move that he did down the veil.
And then I just made two little mistakes. One coming out of turn 1, turned in too early, causing me to having to lift off, and then lost a bit of time going through turn 3, and then the toe was broken. But it was a good race nonetheless. Had some good fun there. Thanks, Shoal.
But then Shoal managing to come back from the little bit of contact you had from that first race. Not a great result there, but coming back and taking the win.
Yeah, first race was a bit of a disaster. But anyway, second race was better. Got away and I wanted to open the gap, but I made a small mistake, and Christopher got past, and I thought I'll just stick behind him and for a few laps, and eventually I decided, okay, I'll better make a move, and got away, and that was it. I thought of returning the favor, but I'll keep that I'll keep that in my pocket for a little bit later.
No, awesome. So guys, thank you very much for watching. If you did watch it, do give us a like, subscribe to our channel if you'd like to. This championship is proudly brought to you by Thrustmaster and Medal State, and don't forget, we head to Bathurst for the final round of this championship. It is a double points of 40 minutes. Can't wait to see it.
Cool.
Thanks for watching, yos.
Cool. Take it easy. Cheers.
Ernst, thanks for letting me race. It was fun.